All right, chapter 1115, Fragments of Continents, and we continue with Yamato's cover story, and we can see Hiyori and Otoko preparing a bento box for her, and you can see her smiling. And I don't think I've ever said my full thoughts on the Yamato cover story. I think the main thing that's going to go down, my little theory, is that they're trying to get Yamato away from the flower capital to set in place for either the Cross Guild or any enemy in general, the Blackbeard pirates, to come into the flower capital, and we can get a showing of Momonosuke and the Scabbards being able to protect Wano by themselves without Yamato. Because remember, Yamato was supposed to leave, but nah, she said, nah, I'ma stay and until they can protect themselves, basically. The chapter starts where the last one ended, and we can see some more reactions about Vegapunk's words all over the world. In Wano, where the Straw Hat Jolly Roger is, we can see people listening to Vegapunk's message with Orochi's old Den Mushi. We can see Momonosuke, Kinemon, Otama, and Shinobu eating dongos. And Momonosuke says, so Joyboy was a pirate just like Luffy, and Kinemon responds, you know that name? We cut to G4 Marine Base Prison, and we can see Demoro Black and his crew are now cosplaying. They're listening to Vegas's message, and we see them cosplaying as the Kid Pirates. And Demoro is Kid. If you don't remember who these are basically the people back in Saba Odi post time skip that pretended to be the Straw Hats. And then the fake Kid Pirates are just like, who would be stronger, Joyboy or our Captain Kid? Nigga, what? And then Demoro in his fake kid form is talking about, it's unfair to compare since Joyboy is dead. What the fuck? No, it is comedy for that. Anyways, Vegapunk's message continues as we see Luffy, Dory, and Baragi are still running from workers. Vegapunk continues to explain why Joyboy was called a pirate. I must first talk about the Void Century. I've only read a small portion of the Poneglyphs, but Poneglyphs are a record of a massive battle fought during the Void Century. Joyboy's enemies was the current world government. And Workery just screams out to Vegapunk. And then we cut to the laboratory where we see Mars walking, and he's just mad using Conqueror's Hockey on a bunch of dead mushy, bro. Fucking level 100 royal official uses aura on seashells. Vegapunk continues, to be precise, Joyboy's enemies were an alliance army of 20 nations that later became the world government. In other words, Joyboy and his group was so sturdy that they needed such forces to fight him. They needed a whole nation, whole 20 nations to fight against this one crew. And while Vegapunk says this, we can see a panel where Joyboy, using Nika form, looking just like Luffy in Gear 5, was fighting multiple kings. Unfortunately, we don't get to see them. This is only a silhouette, and Vegapunk continues. Since I don't possess information on what ignited that battle, I shall just describe it as two types of idea, and neither side can be defined as good or evil. So it isn't as simple as, oh, the one side is good and one side is evil. While this is happening, we cut to Zoe, and we can see minks like Carrot and Wanda are also listening to the message, and Zunisha is listening as well. Vegapunk continues, as I mentioned before, the nation where Joyboy was born was something you wouldn't believe that existed 900 years ago. The weapons that existed in that century of war seem to be crafts that cannot be recreated with today's technology. That even includes me, the genius. And we cut to the Foxy Pirates, and they're listening to Vegapunk's message on like the shabby boat. Most of his crew is gone. We only see like 3 people with him, and they're all bandaged and bruised up. Foxy is just like, what the hell is he talking about, that peanut head? Vegapunk continues, and that's where our problem stems from. Obviously referring to the world about to flood. Back to Egghead Island, Edison asks Stussy to run away. She doesn't need to care about the barrier anymore since it's useless against the 5 elders. They could just go through that. Then we cut to Nami's group, and Nami says that they need to hurry up since marine battleships are gathering around the Elbaf ship, and we can see too that Zoro and Jinbei also made it to the ship. Back to Stussy, she's talking to Kaku, and it's like this very sad tone. Stussy says she doesn't know what to do now that Stella is gone. She's lost her purpose in life. And then boom, Nusjuro breaks free from the giants and attacks Bonnie, but Frankie pulls out the way in time to avoid the attack, but Nusjuro's attack actually cuts off easily the Elbaf ship's figurehead. Nusjuro says, you talk too much, Vegapunk. Ugh, all these annoying signs of life. Bro doesn't even address them as like humans or insects, the signs of life. Then Nusjuro jumps into the air in a double-page spread where he cuts an entire cloud under Punk Records in half, freeing all the Seraphim and Cypher Poet agents in the process, and all of them fall down to the lower port of Egghead. I already knew he was him when he stepped in and speed blitzed all around the he doing too much right now, like he's just showing off. Anyways, Vegapunk's speech continues. The Void Century ended with Joyboy's defeat. However, his downfall in that battle left irreparable damage to our world, and that is our world today, basically making it what it is, all these fragments of islands. With sailing itself being very difficult, a large amount of our population will only have access to the culture of their own. And we see some more reactions and some people saying, of course the ocean is dangerous. Vegapunk continues, this is common sense of ours, but this does not apply to the world that existed 1,000 years ago. We can assume that our world used to have several continents long ago, but the catastrophic climate change that occurred during the Void Century submerged the entire world. 200 meters rise in seawater. You know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy 200 meters is? The islands we are living on right now are just merely fragments of the continents that we used to live on, that used to exist. The world of 1,000 years ago sunk into the depths of the water and is nowhere to be found. And while Vegapunk is talking, we can see a double spread of a bunch of ruins of cities in the bottom of the sea. We see more reactions around the world. Dragon Sabo, Ivankov. Yeah, Dragon is just not on his way, okay, gang? Where's that? Bro, look at this, bro. I found this the other day. This shit was funny as fuck. We also have reactions from Nojiko and Genzo from Kokuyasu village. I'll be forgetting how to pronounce these villages. Anyways, Genzo asks Nojiko where she's going. She says she's going to go check out the farm. Just let her know what he said later. And we see Dalton and Correa are listening to Vegapunk's message. And Correa laughs and says, it seems that there are still so many interesting things in this world. And then we see Miss Golden Week, Miss Merry Christmas, Miss Valentine in an island in the new Spiders Cafe is located. And they're just saying how they can't believe that it was like raised 200 meters in the past and that a lot of people must have died during the rise of that seawater. Vegapunk's message continues. Why did the sea level rise during that void century? One would reasonably assume that such calamities are usually caused by natural disasters, but after my research I can say it's impossible that so much change can happen in the span of merely 100 years. I conclude that calamity was actually man-made. And Morgan says, unbelievable. I bet it's Emu. It gotta be Emu. It's literally just Emu. Bro has weather powers. Bro has the powers that everyone thinks Dragon has. And Morgan's is too loud, so Vivi is covering Morgan's mouth so she can continue listening to what Vegapunk is saying. Continuing what Vegapunk is saying. When I detected a rise in sea level across the whole world the other day, I reached my conclusion. The reason and that identity. And we can see Mars, Saturn, and Workery faces while Vegapunk just say this. Ancient weapons that sunk the world 800 years ago still exist today. And they are waiting the day that they'll be put to use again. And then we cut to Mary Joyboy in the final page of the chapter, and Emu still shadowed in the room of flowers playing with butterfly. And the chapter ends with a close-up of Emu while Vegapunk is talking. Emu with the classic ... Anyways, Vegapunk says, in other words, the huge war that occurred during the Void Century has not ended. End of the chapter. No break next week. Okay, I actually didn't know that there was no break next week. That's crazy. But bro, that's a pretty good chapter. You know, that's a pretty good chapter. If we find out that Emu is like an ancient weapon, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But also this is hypothetical. Like, this is just theory that Vegapunk is spitting. This isn't fact. So we don't know. One can safely assume that it probably is the ancient weapons, but I wouldn't doubt if it was actually Emu's abilities that did that. But I think Vegapunk's message might have just kicked it off. Like, now, ancient weapons? Okay, so these ancient weapons that do that much damage that it could cause a 200 meters of straight ocean. I think this message will have a lot more people want to go after the ancient weapons, which makes me wonder, they're going to play a pivotal role. So I wonder, do we have to destroy them? But Poseidon is one, so obviously we not going to destroy Poseidon. We just got to get them all on our side, I guess. Bro, that's it for the full summary. I need to get this out. I need to stop y'all. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Void Century Lord, bro, the craziest thing is still knowing that Joyboy's crew was so powerful that they needed a whole 20 nations to go against these niggas. That's insane. If we ever see them in action, that's straight aura, bro. You have a whole 20 nations, one crew versus 20 nations.